Okay, welcome. Hello, whether you're catching us live or on replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Christine Cardoza, owner of the Healing Soul School, and I have the pleasure of interviewing Libby today. Libby has been a great friend. We met in an ex-Jehovah's Witness group, which never thought that they even existed, and together her and I have been helping those who are in have been connected to Jehovah's Witnesses in some way and are just having a little bit of struggle with what they're going through in life. And Libby and I are both coaches, so we've been running that support call. And today, I'm really excited. We're going to talk about forgiveness. This is a really important topic, I think, especially for what's happening right now in the world. There's so much going on and a lot of heaviness and people transmuting the past and the things that have happened. And so we're going to talk about forgiveness and share about a community platform. If you are feeling alone or you know you need to make some shifts as well or just wanting some extra support, then we have pulled together 8 coaches that are just helping to really just be there, hold live space, right? We can watch a lot of YouTube videos and figure out how to wade through, the things that we're moving through. But it's so nice to just have someone there that's live, that you feel supported, you feel like you're in community, and to help you with those things that you might be going through. So with that, let me introduce you. So Libby, I'll just say Libby Pease is the Clairvoyant Coach. And that means she's intuitive. She has many of the clairs, actually. And what I love about you, Libby, is that, you are a great listener, but then you just tap in. Like I can tell when you're tapping in and just connecting into yourself, into source and saying, okay, what about this? Or how about this question, right? And just holding that safe space for someone. So if it's okay with you, do you want to share what it is, like share your official title and who you are and a little bit about your story and how you came to being the Clairvoyant Coach?
So thanks for having me on here today. This is amazing, and I look forward to connecting with everyone who is interested in getting support or just needs a soft place to land. Um, my my official title is I'm a professional certified coach with the International Coach Federation. That's one of the big letters. So the PCC and all those fun things that are next to my name from my certification. But yes, I do go by the Clairvoyant Coach. I do have 2 websites as well because not everyone, they tend to, especially if they've just come out of uh, a high control religion, might be like, when they see that. So I do have a softer place to land. So I have an emotional wellness coach as well, just to make it an easier transition for some. They still need that support. And I've even had people who, when they first came out, saw that I was a clairvoyant coach and were terrified of it. And then a year later, we're like leaning into it entirely. So it's interesting how that works. And I understand that piece. So I've made it so that the transition can work out just fine for people.
I think that honestly, that's so important because depending on how you were raised, like we have spiritual gifts, especially the last 2 years, that just start to come in and it's like, whoa, what's that? And have questions. And I was the same. 2 years ago, I would have been spooked out. I say it's like spooking the horses as well because of that early programming and those words, that we were taught that had some kind of an evil or negative connotation. But now that I just said, okay, I'm open. And one thing led to another. And now, we're both intuitive. We're both, have psychic abilities in that we can read energy. We do card readings. We're just able to tap into that spiritual realm. We're like the bridge, I guess, helping those from the physical realm to the spiritual realm, which is new. Not everyone knows that, that from my background as well. But it's really neat because the more I've been calming down my nervous system, and I don't know if you can say the same, my gifts are coming in much faster. And it's neat because it's still in my voice and it's still who I am. But I have this knowing now where a message comes in or a thought comes in, I'm like, yep, this is it. And it's really awesome, when you're helping to hold space for people. We don't heal anybody. You have to heal yourself, right? We're just that guide and that safe space to hold there. So yeah, that's neat. How did, like, in your journey, explain a little bit more about your journey and even some of the jobs you've had that help you in what you're doing right now?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Well, a bit of my journey is that, I didn't grow up in a fundamentalist religion. I had a very scientific background growing up on a farm, and I think that keys into a lot of the work that I do now, that I've sort of, stepped back and been able to connect with that as well, with the full spectrum human emergence work that I've been doing. So, even tying into that whole piece of latent abilities, your intuition, that kind of thing, it really is connecting with earth and allowing that to grow. Um, the work, a lot of the work that I have done, I worked 20 years in crisis response and with distress centers and victim services. So spent a lot of time with, you know, suicide intervention, connecting with people who are having really hard time coping, and being able to be that soft place to land, that empathetic ear. I was training volunteers with those skill sets, and you know, and how I got into the coaching piece was we wanted to be able to have a way of reaching out to individuals who connected with our services on a regular basis. Like, I mean, multiple calls a day, something that would be constructive for them. And we found coaching, solution focused coaching, and it made a huge difference. And then I knew that that was the path that I wanted to go, because I mean, I have, when I was working for those 20 years, I would connect with certain people. I know I worked at different centers, and I would have the same person call for 15 years with the same issue. And part of me was just, wow, how do we get out of this really deep space that we found ourselves in? And coaching bumps you out because it doesn't focus on the problem. It focuses on what you want instead. It
Awesome.
focuses on, um, your values. It focuses on where where you want to be instead of where you were.
Hmm.
And it makes a huge difference. People who are calling 15 times a day were suddenly only needing a call once a week. It
Awesome.
was it was really impressive. So yeah.
Hmm. That's so good. And then, as far as the forgiveness topic for today, so you have a lot of experience, obviously working in very high, um, like, crisis kind of situations and scenarios. And so, tell us a little bit, about the forgiveness topic that you teach and coach on.
So the forgiveness piece is really huge, because when you hold a grudge, when you hold on to pain, um, it it manifests all over your body. It manifests as pain, it manifests as headaches, it manifests as fuzziness, not being able to focus. It stops us from having true connections with people who really genuinely want to have a connection with us. So in the workshop that I'm providing, I dive into, defining what forgiveness is, because a lot of people are like, well, someone did something wrong to me, I'm not just going to blatantly forgive them. They don't deserve it. But this forgiveness is about a release. We don't have to condone what the other person did to us, but when we're able to release it, it releases that pain, it releases that angst, and allows us to be able to move forward in our life. So, really getting into the definition, what it means to actually forgive, what those health benefits are. And it's an interactive piece. There's a lot of participation involved with it, exercises that help get you closer to forgiveness and allow you to really sort of step into that, experience it. Even if you're not ready to fully forgive yet, it gives you an experience of it. And the brain is an amazing thing. Once it's actually experienced it once, it's like a memory, whether it actually happened in real life or whether it was an imagination piece of you just stepping in an exercise. And it becomes easier every time you do it to be able to step into that again, to allow that release, to allow that forgiveness, to be able to move forward and be in a life that you want to be.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. And I even think like those who've been through something a little bit heavier, right? Just having someone there to witness, hold them, but even, for sure not bypassing what happened, but really just holding that space and saying, okay, how do we move forward from here, right? So that we're not in that constant loop. That's the thing that I found too, healing my own depression was like, how do I get out of this constant loop? And I started to study the brain because I was like, I do not want to feel like crap anymore, right? And really just learning about the body and the nervous system and how to, come out of those states because it doesn't feel good, but it has a message, right? There's some medicine in it somewhere. So it's just being able to find out what that is. And when we're so caught in what we're doing or what's going on around us, it's like the fish in the water. They don't see the water, right? We can't see our own blind spots. So just so good. I love your background and all of the things that you've been through. And that's why, we're so honored to be working with you because you see, right, from a different angle, but also all of that experience of helping people through crisis. Like you can hold a lot of energy for people, right? And helping them to transmute themselves out of whatever it is that they're going through. So
Absolutely. And it's
yeah.
important, it's important to hold that space. And I think with that first class, it's that piece of holding the space, knowing
Mm,
that some major things have happened to those who are going to be participating in this workshop. And not glossing over it and saying, oh, we just need to whitewash it and it'll go away. No, no, no,
mhm,
no. No, this is a validation piece. This is finding out what is it that you really need to be able to move forward and then moving forward from there.
mhm. Awesome. So the workshop that Libby's talking about, we have a conscious living village that we are starting at the Healing Soul School. What I saw in this last couple years as I've been doing coaching and just seeing what is out there in the market is a space for people who want to transition from the heaviness that, or needing some emotional support or spiritual support, right? If you're just newer in your spiritual gifts and really having a community around you that understands. We've also been through or done our own work or also have been wanting community. And so the conscious living village really is it's a how-to community, how to live consciously. And we have curated a bunch of classes to start for the first 3 months of really just like a lot of emotional support, spiritual help. Forgiveness is one of the classes, and Libby will be running that on the second Tuesday of the month at 10:30. All of the calls are recorded and they'll be in a portal so you have access to it. So we've got calls like the forgiveness piece, which is really great. We've got money coaching and how to heal those old money stories, esoteric movement of like, and this is so great because we'll meet Andrea on our next call, but it's all about having intimacy with ourselves, our body, being able to move those stuck emotions out of our body, really important. We have spiritual chat class. Virginia's going to do more around meditation, but how to meditate, yes, but also how to get into that deep, delicious visioning and having someone there, right, that can hold you, help you through, or maybe you had like this big epiphany in the meditation and you've got someone to share that will understand what you're talking about, right? Back to that
Or even
community.
learning how to tether in, because some of us can like be like, woo, we're gone for a bit. I need to find my way back.
Right, right. Come back. We also have a healer's hour, and that is for anyone who has Reiki, energy healing, quantum, any of the energy, or you want to learn. This is a really an incredible place to learn as well, but you get to come and you get to receive. Many of us have a hard time receiving. So we've worked it in. There's 3 calls in the month where you get to come and you just receive. And then after the receiving part, then there will be practice for those who want to learn, or you can talk to others who have a healing modality and what their experience has been. And to really it's to build our confidence, it's to build a confidence in our skills and what we have, in order to then go out and help more people. I'm trying to think in my head just as I go off of all the other calls. I'm going to run a business call. So we've got money coaching on that call, business mentoring, like how to get seen. We have our favorite psychic medium, Steph, will be on that call with us as well. And so more is coming up. We have our Conscious Business Showcase is this Saturday. So the end of February 2022. And we'll have all the teachers on to explain more about it. And Libby can't be with us later on Saturday, so I wanted to give her own session where she could explain her story, her background, and also run the forgiveness part. So over the next 3 months, she will be going through that. There's 3 sessions on really how to forgive, and it's those 3 pieces that she mentioned. And so if that's something that interests you and you want to learn more about how, to get into this supportive community for entrepreneurs, mystics, for cycle breakers, if you felt like you never fit in, this is totally a place for you, or you felt like the black sheep, or you felt like there was something more for you, but you just never knew, or you're an indigo child who's grown into an adult, that is, you're wanting to move through. This is the age of Aquarius, so we are a very spiritual group, and just move in and be with others that are experiencing the same thing and want to learn as well. So you can find more on our website, which is healingsoulschool.com/programs. There's more information there. And we have 3 free sessions that I'm including as part of our intro to the Conscious Living Village. And it's all about how to get clear in your business. So this is for those who are in the helping field or the service field, and you're helping others to transition or move through something, or you have a job right now but you don't love it, and you know that you want to create something bigger out of one of your passions, or maybe you've taken Reiki or some other healing modalities, you're like, how do I put all of these pieces together? Then we're definitely going to help that. So these 3 free classes are really all about getting clear on who you are and how you serve. Strategies is going to be the second call, and then the third one is all about networking, how to leverage other people's audiences. You don't have to do TikTok videos or or dance and sing to gain new followers or new clients. It's just simply, who are you? What feels good and comfortable to you? Have a few simple things that you consistently follow up on, and your clients will find you energetically. That's the great thing about energy, is when you know who you are and you bought into it and your belief is really high, then the people just start to come and they're like, hey, I've been following you. How do I get into your world? And so that's what we want to do. And then also having networking, right? So that we can know who our neighbors are, collaborate, get into their world as well, as just a way of expanding. Everyone wins in that scenario. So those are the 3
everybody
offers.
needs a community, right? Everyone needs a tribe. And when you can find your tribe and be authentic, man,
Yeah.
it's amazing how people flock to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as we finish up, what would be like some advice for you? There are a lot of things going on in the world right now, or just, people shifting and releasing all of that old programming and the heaviness that doesn't serve us anymore. So for someone who's in that mode and they're just kind of like, where do I even go, or how do I start in, this road of forgiveness? What would be your tips?
Well, I when it comes to the road of forgiveness, it's really digging deep within yourself and finding out, okay, what value of mine was violated here? Because what will offend, or what will uh, be an issue for one person may not be an issue for somebody else. And obviously for certain things they're going to be an issue with everybody, but there are times where we have been offended because one of our core values have been violated. If we can find out what those core values are and understand how they show up in our life and how we want them to show up in our life, it won't be as easy for other people to manipulate those in the future. So one of the things that I do with any of my new clients is I go through a mapping process with them, finding out first what's really important in their life, Secondly, really diving into what their true core values are, because many times we're given values, but they're not necessarily ours. And really sort of diving into those, finding purpose, and then really connecting with their own goals. But it's really those values parts that work like a compass in our life. Helps us to make decisions, helps us to know when we're being manipulated or when we've been violated, and how to be able to take care of ourselves. Because in a lot of cases, people don't even realize that they've done so deep a wrong to you. But if you know what your values are, you know what needs to be met there, then it's a lot easier to be able to take care of ourselves and still be open and vulnerable to those amazing people that we need to have come into our life in the future. So instead of,
Mm-hmm.
because we tend to shut people off when we've been violated in the past, right?
Right.
So really digging deep and finding out what is it that really happened there, and how to be able to support myself so that I can build that, so that I can be open to other people in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
That's so
sense?
good. That was an exercise all on its own. Someone can watch the replay again and jot down those things, right? And just like think about it. But that's so good, because when you can when you're holding something that's heavy or secret, or something, your mind will think about it over and over, right? Because it's asking to be healed or integrated. There's some movement that's wanting to happen, and when you can do that, then you're able to be freer to receive joy, pleasure, all of the things that what we're here for, right? In this life.
So yeah, one of the things that I have is, like, some people would be like, well, I can never find inner peace. Like, my brain is always going. And we actually get to that core peace that we need. Because I kind of say that there's gremlins that are always nattering at us. So in order to calm them down, because they're trying to do something for us, right? And in order to calm them down, they need something, fulfilled. And we
Mm-hmm.
find out what that is. And once you have that and bring that back up to those original pieces, everything shifts. And there's a huge relaxation. And when there's a huge relaxation, suddenly your body doesn't hurt so much. You don't have headaches the same way. The energy is able to flow, and everything changes. I've seen huge shifts in people just because they've understood what it is at their core that they need, and they're able to feed that to themselves or
Mm-hmm.
seek out the people that they need in order to feed them.
That's awesome. Once that electrical charge is gone, you're not going to recreate the same scenarios over and over, just a different person, right?
Yeah,
Or
a different
scenario.
person. And
Yeah,
of course
because
you get more of what you focus on. So
yeah.
and so many of us are always focusing on that negative piece, and we get more of it, and then we're like, why is our lives so horrible? Well, we're focusing on it. So focus on something else. Focus on what is
Mm-hmm.
it that we really need to help us to be able to move forward.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your time. And it's always a joy working with you and being on calls together. I always look forward to that. And we've got more coming. So this Saturday, if you're catching this before February 26th, we have the Conscious Business Showcase for February. And it's more information on the Conscious Living Village of a community who are people just like us, that are coming through, and really just to be there to offer that support in different areas and to grow and to have fun and really just build that, I would even say, soul community or soul family. And so if you are watching this on a replay, then there will be that second video. Just look for February Conscious Business Showcase for 2022, and then you'll have all of the rest of the teachers as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I'll see you soon.
Okay.